Hi, everybody. I'm Forbes Riley. I'm the writer and creator of Eat. It's a journal for what you eat and, for more importantly, what's eating you. And I have to say, I'm very proud of you that you're either holding this in your hands or you're taking the online course. And I'm proud of me that I'm holding this because it took me 3 years to write this book, to develop it, to test it. And I've had hundreds of thousands of people go through the program. And now it's your turn. I'm very excited to say that it works. And that's an important thing in the diet world because so many diets just don't. See, this has been a lifelong journey for me. You know, many people used to look at me on television and say, wow, how could you know what we're talking about? You've never had a weight problem. Oh, how wrong could you be? See, most of my life, I was a size 12 to 14. And while that might not seem very bad to you, when I was at the height of my TV career, most actresses were a size 0. I mean, what does that even mean you're a size 0? I mean, 2 or 4 seems pretty small, but a 0? Well, at 12 to 14, I was huge. Now, standards have changed, times have changed, thankfully, and we've evolved. But back then, oh my gosh, it was constant frustration, pain, and hurt, as directors and producers and fellow actors would say. They had no problem saying to me, you need to lose a little weight. Oh, you have such a pretty face, but your thighs are a little too big. Or I didn't fit into a dress. I mean, it was humiliating. That's the word that I want to say. And for so many years, I personally lived with that pain. And because of that, I went on every diet known to man, from the no carb, all protein, high fruit, no fruit, watermelon, all day juicing, celery juicing, fasting. It didn't matter what it was. I tried it. I mean, I can go down the entire list. And the problem with me with diets, at least in my opinion, is that they just didn't seem to work. You'd go on them, you'd go off them. I became a yo-yo dieter. And as somebody who was an actress and a dancer, almost every day of my life for so long, people would just say that I needed to lose weight. Oh my gosh. You know what that does? It leaves you very frustrated, incredibly angry, and it led to depression, which, you know what, used to make me overeat even more. Because it turns out my problem wasn't that I didn't know the difference between a broccoli and a brownie. I just didn't want the broccoli. I was stressed or I was rejected or who knows what it was. For me, it was mostly emotional. Now, you look at me and let me tell you, I've been on a very, very incredible journey. And Eat, this is the culmination of all that I have done, all that I am in terms of the diet world. And it's how you start your journey on this. And I want you to take a breath, embrace it, and say, you know what? It's your time. It's your time to make a transformational trip with me that I guarantee will have results beyond your wildest imagination. I've taken a lot of people through this, and I have watched unbelievable journeys. Now, I hope that you're as excited and curious about what you're getting into as I am. And it's all right here inside this journal, whether you download it or you get a hard copy, and all the videos that go along with it. But this really is the answer to all the things that I wanted when it came to finally getting a handle on my eating and enjoying the body that God gave me. So are you ready? Let's go. Why did I create Eat? I love the art of journaling. Many years ago, I was working as an actress, and I was doing this one-woman show, and it had about 250 pages of script that I needed to memorize, like putting it into my brain, and I was having a very, very hard time doing it. So much so that I went to the director, and I said, please fire me. I just want to quit. And the director said, no. At least go meet with a hypnotist friend of mine. You're very talented. You can do the play, and he will help you. Well, one of the things that he told me was to take out a pen and write in longhand each one of the lines, and at the end, hook it to the next one. And the entire script, he had me do this. I thought, wow, this is interesting. He said, no, there's this connection between actually physically writing, not typing on a computer, but that old-fashioned longhand and how your brain computes it and how you can affect change in your brain. So me personally, by the way, the play worked. I did the show for 6 months and I never missed a word. So yes, his whole technique worked. And since then, I've been journaling most of my life. Now, most of my journals start with, today I weigh X, I'd like to lose this much, and I would start out to write what I ate. I had a grapefruit, I had coffee, I had an egg. Anyway, the problem was, most of these books were spiral-bound books, not very interesting or inspiring, something you'd get in grade school. And I would do 2 or 3 pages very diligently, and by about page 4 or 5, I would just stop. Do you know how many journals I have in my house? I just started journals. It was bizarre at some point. And then I said, okay, maybe it's the journal. It's not me. So then I went and I bought these expensive leather-bound, really cool paper journals. Same thing, 5 pages in and I would just stop. Then I said, okay, maybe I need to buy pre-packaged fitness kind of journals. Okay, the problem with them, they are this big and my handwriting is this big. And my eyesight's not very good, so it would be very hard to squeeze in what I was doing every day. Anyway, I never got the hang of that. I didn't enjoy any of these. And I said, it's truly something that is a very powerful tool. It works, but something's missing here. And I thought, maybe I need a better journal, a better mousetrap. And so I built one. And this is what it is. And when you look through it, you'll see it's 4 colors. It's beautiful. It's just inviting and engaging. It's nothing like what I did when I was journaling. And so this is my gift to you. It's Eat. It's big. It's colorful. It's what I want you to do. And the way this works is that every day, if you bite it, you write it. Now, I'll tell you what. When you do this, it has a tremendous effect on you. So Eat is a 6-week journal and a 6-week online course as well. It's 3 weeks to break a habit, which is 21 days, and 3 weeks to make a new habit, the second 21 days. How simple is that? 42 days is going to pass whether you do this or not. And I'll tell you what, if you could change the way you think, the way you eat, the way you dream, that is all part of the Eat journal. I mean, this is what habits are. Think about the last time you thought about brushing your teeth. You don't do that, right? Once you got in the habit of doing it, you just did it. Well, amazing things happen when you go through this journal process and you do this day in and day out for the entire 6 weeks. Because I discovered, turns out it's not only what you eat, it is what's eating you. So the journal is not just writing. I mean, it took me 3 years to create, conceive, and experiment with this. And I did that every day for 3 years. I was obsessed with having myself go through it, with having people. I mean, I did trial after trial after trial. I found out what worked and what didn't work. And I'll tell you what, you're not going to write down just what you eat. There's a 5 to 10 minute exercise every day that you get to write out. And I have created them in the most colorful, inspirational, motivational way that I could possibly do. And that's the whole part about the journal, what's eating you. It's emotional. Now, the other cool thing about not having a diet, this is not a diet program, it's a journal program, is you don't get to cheat. So those are some of the colorful exercises, but do me a favor. Don't go ahead, don't, look for them and try and cheat. I want you to go day by day, very, very slowly. I want you to write in this and do the exercise. That's what this is all about. It is about you and me getting very committed to each other. And here's the secret. The more honest you are with yourself, the better the results you're going to have with the Eat Journal system.
Hi, I'm Kevin Harrington, an original shark on the hit TV show Shark Tank, and I'm here with Forbes Riley. Forbes is a celebrity fitness guru as well as a television show host. And Forbes, it's great to have you today.
Thank you.
We're here to talk about an exciting new product that you've come out with, and this is a weight loss program called Eat. It's also an online program. It's a book as well as an online program, and this is the journal for what you eat and for what's eating you. Now, I'm going to put this down so you can tell me all about how you came about developing this.
Well, Kevin, people have seen me on television for many years as a weight loss fitness expert, but it came about because most of my life I was 30 to 40 pounds heavier than I am. Wow. And I was a dancer and I used to work out all the time, but I was very much criticized and put down for my weight issue. I was even on Broadway with Christopher Reeve and sent to Overeaters Anonymous.
Oh, wow.
And my mom, God rest her soul, was 260 pounds my whole life. And one of the issues was I understood how to physically work out, but I didn't understand what food was. In fact, when I was a dancer in New York, I used to have a banana nut muffin. Big banana nut, thinking bananas and nuts are healthy, but look at the size of the muffin.
Right, okay.
And I didn't understand the value of food, when you eat, why you eat. So what did? I went on diets. Every single diet known to man, from Beverly Hills to Scarsdale, you name it, I've been on it.
Right.
And I found that as soon as I went on a diet, I would get anxious and nervous and I would cheat. Because if I didn't have tuna fish on Tuesdays, I was done.
Gotcha.
So it took me many, many years, and a couple of things happened. One, I ran into Jack LaLanne, and I discovered the power of juicing.
That was a big hit for you on TV.
It was as an infomercial, but more as meeting a man who said things like, if man made it, don't eat it.
Okay.
And I started to wake up and said, what is the value of the food I'm eating? And one of the things that I did, and I'd love everyone watching to really kind of take out a pen and write this down, is if I were to ask you, Kevin, what the word diet means. For people, it means starvation, deprivation, calorie counting.
It means don't eat, usually, right? Okay.
But that's not the secret.
Right.
In fact, here's what diet means.
Okay.
D-I-E-T.
Right.
Decisions I eat today.
Okay.
So think about this. At every time, everywhere, you make a decision. When the waitress comes and says, what do you want to drink? You can say, I just want water, or you can say, I want alcohol. When the bread comes to the table, you can say, I don't want to eat it because it's right there. When dessert comes, you might want to say, hey, I don't want that, or please cut my portion in half.
Or one of those big frappuccinos that's got all the calories in it at Starbucks, right?
But for me, it was even worse than that. I was lying to myself. And so I started writing journals. And what I realized many years into this process is that I would take a spiral-bound book and start, I weigh X, I want to lose that. I was obsessed with that concept.
Okay.
Or I would buy those little teeny journals where you'd write in it. And I said, this isn't working for me. And so I sat down and said, what makes it different? So I started to create a full color concept of what it means to write down in a journal. And you should eat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day. You're allowed to have
So you
snacks.
get to eat a lot, actually, huh?
You get to eat anything that you want. In fact, the system is you don't tell anybody what to eat. You first start by writing down what you do eat.
Okay.
I mean, I would ask you, how many meals did you have today? I know you started with a protein bar this morning, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
But how many hours did you go? And here's the funny thing. When you start to look at what you eat, the only rule of the book, if you bite it, write it.
Okay.
So think about this. It's 11
That's
o'clock.
pretty simple, though. I mean, if you're truthful to the system, right?
Yes, I'll tell you what, it's challenging.
Okay.
Because here's what happens. And it's like a training mechanism. I used to work with dogs, and the same way you train a dog, you can train yourself.
Right.
Is if there's a brownie on the table, and you say, wait a second, I would like to lose weight. Not that I want to go on a diet, but I can eat the brownie. But if I eat the brownie, I have to write that I ate the brownie.
Okay.
And so you find yourself going, well, I don't want to write that I ate the brownie. You know what, maybe I'll pass on the brownie tonight.
Okay, I see.
And that starts to become your own behavior. This is a 6-week program. Week 1's probably the hardest because and I say be honest.
How do you handle nibblers? I like to do a little nibbling through the day.
Well, but here's the thing.
A
It's just
bite
like,
here, a bite there,
do
right?
you ever have cash in your pocket and you forget where'd you spend it all day?
Yes, right.
Carry this book with you.
Okay.
I'm only going to ask you for 6 weeks.
Okay.
Keep a pen and a piece of paper, and don't make little pieces
It's
of
simple.
paper.
I mean, if you're really dedicated to losing weight, you just have to carry the book.
Carry the
Yeah,
book.
That's it.
So if you're nibbling and you found that, Kevin, you nibbled like 18 times and you nibbled on the M&Ms and you nibbled on the potatoes, and you say, wait a second, I haven't lost any weight, but I didn't eat any food.
Right.
What's uncovered is that you're lying to yourself.
Okay.
And that, for most people, now you're not on somebody else's diet. You get to look at your own diet. And then, think about water. Did you drink enough? One of the secrets to losing weight is actually drinking water and being hydrated enough.
It's good for you. It also kind of fills you up a little bit too, right?
But if I asked you how many glasses you had today, chances are, if you're a busy person, you'd never know.
Yeah.
There's a level of honesty. So I've taken hundreds of people through this program. Now you might say that was great if it was just a journal. But the other side of the book is what sets this apart. Because I said here, it's a journal for what's eating you. Now I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of patients in weight loss and in all of this. And I realized that most of us who are overweight have an eating issue, have an emotional, something happened to us. And so without going into great detail or spending years on a therapist's couch, how about we just go, maybe I want to do a small exercise. What makes me happy? And some of these exercises, by the way, they're in 4 color. They're pretty, they're unique, they're different.
And this is also online too.
This is online because you can't always get to a group and do this.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, when you print this out and you follow the step-by-step system, because I've taken hundreds of people through this, you know what happens? Week 1, a little frustrating. Week 2, you go, this is cool. Week 3, you're like, I'm on this. And by week 4, most people I've found have a breakthrough that's life-changing.
That's amazing. You start getting phone calls, I bet, week 4, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I get phone calls, I get emails. I've got a woman named Shoshana who said, Forbes, you know what, I love my body, but actually I love the person I am, but I don't love the body that I'm in. When I finally got honest and realized that I was my biggest saboteur, I got happier and healthier, all because of a journal.
Yeah. I was on your Facebook. You have 600,000 Facebook followers, so you must have a lot of people asking you for advice, and many of them probably want to lose weight, right?
They do, and here's what I try to tell them, is that the traditional way of doing this doesn't work. You cannot go on somebody else's diet. I have people all over the world who eat different kind of food. I have a lot of fans in Egypt and in South America, so I can't tell them what to eat.
Right.
But they pretty much know, and then beyond that, I provide a little bit of education. What's the value of food? Even if you're a doctor, you only take 4 hours of nutrition in school.
Right.
So you don't necessarily know what foods work together. Can you name 5 superfoods? Can you
Spirulina. Okay.
Spirulina.
That's one. That's
But
about
I'll
it
tell
for
you what,
me.
when you start to lace some of these into your daily intake and we stop worrying about my diet,
Right.
I'll tell you, what changed for me is I wear a size smaller than I did in high school.
Wow.
I'm on television. It is amazing.
And based on coming from the genes, your mother was 260 pounds. That's an amazing transformation. So,
well, here, I had a woman come to me, and this is a heartbreaking story. When I grew up is when fast food came in, and every Friday and Saturday night it was McDonald's and Arby's and Kentucky Fried Chicken. Monday through Thursday was TV frozen dinners. We didn't have a lot of money growing up.
and Coca-Cola or those heavy sodas, right?
Well, because that's the good life, and they lie to you.
Yeah.
And so this woman came to me, and she had a set of triplets. And I showed her how to make kale chips. And by the way, it's funny because she looked at me and said, my kids won't eat those. And I said, just stand over here for a second. We took them out of the oven.
I love kale chips.
And her little triplets nibbled on these, and they ate the entire tray.
Yeah.
I then showed her how to make a green smoothie. She said, well, no, they're never going to drink that. I said, stop telling me what your kids won't and will do. Because in there is also an apple and a banana, and it's actually sweet. but it's got all the nutrition and vitamins that you need every day if that's all you can do. But then here was a tragic thing that she said to me. She said, my family doesn't have a lot of money. And we went on your program for a little bit. We started to eat better. And then all of a sudden, we ended up having to, our family helped us. We were back to macaroni and cheese. I said, you know what? There are affordable secrets. And I really set out to make this an accessible program for anybody on any budget.
Yeah, and this works for children, because a lot of the children today, my 17-year-old, when he was 11, he started getting a belly because he was eating all the fast food and all the crazy stuff after school. So it's for children, for women, but certainly for men too, right? So any level and almost any age, right? It's a universal product.
It's the most unique program when you get honest with you about your food, because you made a decision and you said to yourself, I'd like to look better. How do you do that? And so the options are limited. And again, this deprivation, starvation, diet mentality doesn't work. You have to eat every day, all day.
Right.
So why wouldn't you start to learn to make better choices? And this is just a tool. If you've got 6 weeks, by the way, 6 weeks are going to happen in your life whether you do something or not.
Right.
Wouldn't you like to be in a tighter dress?
Not me, but that's okay.
Well, but your belt one notch, a little bit in.
There you go.
Have your jeans fit. And then, of course, here's the best thing that comes from being fit and looking healthy. People give you compliments all the time. They say, wow, you look good.
Yeah.
And that, to me, I don't really care what size you are, but do you feel fit? And then, of course, I've got one other little hidden secret that I do.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yep. Yeah, I know. I've seen you on Home Shopping Network with this, right?
I've sold 1.5 million SpinGYMs.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what, as I sit on your set and I just get to work out, this goes hand in hand. Because
you need movement. You can't just lay on the couch and lose a lot of weight. You've got to get the engine burning, right?
But imagine if somebody proved to you that in 5 minutes a day that you could change your body and again, I'm not asking you to go on a diet.
Right.
There are testimonials on my webpage. If you go to the link below, you're going to see people swearing that 2 or 3 times a day for 5 minutes and no diet.
Okay.
They did do my Eat Journal,
right?
But they never felt like they were on a diet, and they're all fitter, thinner, happier, and healthier. That is a secret I think that the industry has been waiting for.
Is SpinGYM part of the package, or
I might make? Well, you know what?
Maybe.
I'll tell you what. Here's what I'll do. There's some tips, resources, and special offers down below, and I will make it very accessible to anybody watching this.
Right.
So let me ask you a question: are you somebody like me who struggled with their weight, who says, "Hey, you know what? I'm tired. I went on the diets and they made me feel bad and I'm still the same size, or maybe I don't eat and I'm even bigger." And especially if you're somebody who works in an office or isn't very mobile, I've got a secret that will change your life by getting your metabolism going. But if you give me 6 weeks, I'm going to take you on a journey that I think is going to make you happier and healthier, whoever you are. You're going to get honest with yourself, never go on a diet, and some of these exercises go beyond body changing, they're life changing. Imagine you now come to realize that your family is important, vacation is important, maybe working smarter, not harder is important. Who knew all of that could come from what looks like a simple diet program? Well, I'll tell you what, I developed this from my heart. It took me 3 years to write this. I am so excited. I've taken hundreds of people through this. My question to you is, what are you waiting for? There's information at the bottom of the screen. You simply go to the website. There's always free goodies. There's great motivation and inspirational testimonials. And I'm always giving away information. You want to come be part of my team and eat? Because I'll tell you what, chances are if you're fighting your weight, it's more than just what you eat. Perhaps it's what's eating you.
And you said something pretty amazing. If anyone out there would like to go to their high school reunion at one size less than they were when they graduated, I mean, let's just say the same size. How about that? Eat can help you get there. And you just have to think of dieting in a different way, right?
Let me share
Say that
something
one more time, the diet. How do you spell diet?
D-I-E-T. Decisions I eat today.
Right.
It's not the food, it's how you eat, when you eat, why you eat.
Okay.
And I, at 55 years of age, and I will be happy to stand here and say my age, why do I do that? Because I'm so proud of how I look now. I didn't have this in my teens. I didn't have this in my 20s and my 30s. My gift is to give it to younger people so they can feel better. But I get so sad, Kevin, when somebody says, oh, it's too late for me. I'm going to tell you, I've taken enough people through programs, 1.5 million SpinGYMs and hundreds of people through EAT. My goal is to reach anybody who feels that they're stuck and that there's no hope. I get to be their personal health cheerleader.
I like that. And you've made it so easy. You can get the book. It's online. You've got, I mean, so simple. Do you have one last person you want to tell me about that has transformed their body?
You know, I have a woman who's in her 80s, and it breaks my, I almost want to, I'm in tears when I say this, because no one had ever really gotten to her. What had happened to her was when she was 15 years old, she'd auditioned for the cheerleader team, and they said to her that she was like a bull in a china shop. And when I put her through the program and she started to spin, her answer to me was that, Forbes, you set me free.
Wow.
And what broke my heart was how many years it took for her to get to that. Let's not wait. Yeah. I know it's never too late. I would urge everyone to do this right now, because it's always the holidays. It's always an adventure in eating, whether it's Halloween and candy, or it's Thanksgiving turkey dinner and all the trappings, or it's, you know, Valentine's Day and chocolate. There's always a reason not to. My question is, let's get started right today, because you are the reason to do this and you deserve it.
Absolutely. And I'm going to say, Forbes, at 55 years old, look at this. You are a product of yourself and your own products. You use your products. Eat is a journal for what you eat and what's eating you. Now is the time. Go to that website right under the screen, and the SpinGYM. Yep, get that engine burning, right?
You know, it's a simple, wonderful way to do this, because I really think that you should get beyond that and live and enjoy your life. And you know what? I know that you do that, and I'm a huge fan of yours. And thank you so very much.
Hey, it's great to be here today. Thank you.
You have something special. You have greatness within you. You know, someone asked a question, why is it obesity is so prevalent? It's everywhere. And all of the diets that are out there, why aren't they working? You know, there's an old proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. And the enemy to obesity is something that most people don't want to own. Something that most people don't want to take responsibility for, and that is yourself. Forbes Riley has created a strategy that works if you work it, if you implement it. And you know what it's about? A lot of people, and I heard this and it gave me a chill, are overweight not because of what they eat, but because of what's eating them. This allows you to go within, to do self-reflection. This allows you to be on top of what you're eating. This allows you to stop from digging an early grave with your teeth. This allows you to monitor yourself and be in control of yourself. This creates a mindset of mindfulness, of being healthy and being around healthy people and having healthy habits. And every day, rather than engaging in emotional eating, you're making choices that will keep you here. You ask yourself, does this help me achieve my health goals? She's done something special that's helping millions of people. And it's going to help you if you're ready, if you're serious at going to that next level. Forbes, you've done something incredible. Journey for what you eat and what's eating you. From our lips to God's ears. She's done something really special. Thank you, Forbes.
I have a family of obesity. You know, my mother struggled. She was 420 pounds. She had to be weighed on a truck scale in order to get her weight. And at the time, I was like small, you know, compared to my family, I suppose. And my sister, she's well over 300 now. And I somehow went from 130 to 246. And I said, I'm on the same track as my family. And I got scared, and she had all these medical problems, and to the point where she died. And the doctors was like, oh, wow, you know, we wanted to do a lawsuit. And they said, well, she was just an obese, heavy lady. She really didn't have a job, so they threw her case out. I didn't want to be in that same boat.
Right.
So as a teacher, we did this fitness thing at my school earlier this year. Biggest Loser. I got in it, not thinking much of it, and I ended up losing 24 pounds.
How did you feel losing 24 pounds?
Amazing. I felt like a new person, and I'm still on the track. I haven't got there yet. I'm kind of at a standstill now. I need a little bit of boost or some help.
Well, that's why you're here, and that's why I'm talking to you. Let me ask you a question. When you're overweight, when you're dealing with a weight issue, how does it feel?
Depressing. I felt like nobody was looking at me. The guys that I would get to date, they were not finding me attractive.
So
There's
you
like,
are pretty.
you know, I get that. I mean, maybe facial, but I didn't want to be seen undressed at all with anybody.
All right, so here's my commitment. And I know because you got tears in your eyes. And this is what I've dealt with my whole life. How old are you?
I'm 44.
All right. Do you believe that we can do this?
I gotta do it. I have to do it because I want to be an example for my family. My nieces, I have a son. He said he's never remembered me skinny. He's only remembered me fat. And I don't want to be like this, you know.
All right. Well, here's what I've done. Here's what I have done. I have created a program that is not a diet. Because I'll tell you what's going on. Partly it's not understanding the food that we eat. Partly it's not getting enough nutrition in our body. And partly it's some emotional issue. Yeah, I don't even have to, you know, there's something in there.
I spend so much money on all these other things. And sometimes I just pay the money and I never show back up.
You believe in me?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay.
I think you're awesome.
Thank you. Well, I think that you're awesome too, and I'm here to help. And that's what we're going to show you in this program. And you're going to stick with it, and you're going to become one of my success stories. You promise?
I promise
Because
you.
here's the thing. I need you to be a success story. Can we all give her a big round of applause?
Hey everyone, Craig here. Just wanted to leave a review after having completed the Forbes Riley Eat program, a journal for what you're eating and for what's eating you. And after having finished the program, I really started to think about everything else I've done leading up to this point and before the 6 weeks of this program. And I've done every diet, fad, system, program that's probably out there, just like a lot of other people have done too. I mean, everything. Low carbs, no carbs, high fat, no fat, low fat, everything in between, eating like a caveman, eating like regular people, eating all kinds of different things. And none of those have ever worked for me in the past. You see success and results while you're in there, but inevitably they come to an end. And when they end, you look around and you think, well, what do I do now? I've realized some success, I've lost some weight, or I've changed my body, but they, go after the low-hanging fruit, the easy problems to solve. You're on a system, 6, 8, 12 weeks, workouts, meal plans, but when they end, I've looked around and I'm slowly creeping back towards my regular habits because those types of things never go after the core problem, your actual relationships with food and your relationship with everything and people around you and the real drivers of what you do to choose how you eat and how you interact with food and actually what's the root cause of some of the things that you're trying to correct. So that's where, I definitely found a difference with this program, and it's not a diet. They say it all throughout this book. This is not a diet. Nowhere in this book does it say what to eat, how much to eat, count this, measure that. It's not going to be in there whatsoever. You are journaling your food every day, but the biggest part and win for me was the daily exercises and the accountability and sitting with people and sending pictures of my wins and my journaling to my accountability partner throughout all the days and throughout all the weeks. And for me, that was really very meaningful and something that I definitely noticed started to change my behavior because I've journaled food a lot throughout my past. I journaled food actually right before this on my own, just journaling food. And the problem that I always had with it, and it did work periodically, I would choose to not eat things because I didn't want to see it written down. But, it's really easy to lie to yourself. And again, you're not getting at the core problem of why you're making some of your decisions. So I came out of this program 6 weeks in, and I really did feel that I had a different relationship with food, going through some of the exercises and just hearing daily the people's challenges and struggles. And for me, my biggest takeaway, I think, for this was, just taking things one day at a time. A lot of times I look at the totality of a situation and I want to lose a certain amount of weight, or I want to change the way I look in the mirror, and you get discouraged before you even start because you look at the problem holistically, and you're not just taking it day by day. And this book and this exercise and these exercises let you slow down, take a breath, day by day, line by line. What are your goals for the week? I want to survive today. I want to do well today. And that's how I approached everything. And it's been about a week or two after now that the class is finished, and I've carried all my habits through with me. I started drinking apple cider vinegar every day, and that's been great. That's like a bolt of lightning rocking through your system every day. I've loved that very much. And I've also quit drinking diet soda. I used to drink a lot of that during the before and throughout most of my life. So, I made a goal to stop drinking that during the program, just to stop for a while. And it's just a habit that's kind of carried on. And I realize as well, journaling and the accountability when you really crave something or when you just want to eat because you're bored or it's habit. And I realized I had a lot of eating habits. And when you start to challenge some of those things through these exercises and through this book is when you really get a chance to understand why you're eating, and then recognize that you're not eating because you're hungry. You're just eating because food is there, it's in front of you, it's accessible. So I can't say enough about going through this program. I loved it, and I think everybody should do it. I would recommend it for everyone, and I would be happy to talk it over or partner up with anybody who wants to kind of go through it, and I would do it again. Thanks, everyone.